Hi guys, recently I got an anonymous message on Telegram. Hi, is there a way to get a small and simple birthday gift to you? Not a big thing, just because you deserve something good. You might actually like it. Even though this person wrote with good intentions, they wanted to give a gift to me. This message scared me and finally motivated to make such a video. So today I want to talk about parasocial relationships, whether parasocial relationships can be healthy, and I will tell you some disturbing stories from my life where I was stalked by people from the internet. So to this person, I answered, I don't communicate with my subscribers in private messages. Receiving a message from an anonymous account that somehow found my Telegram is very disturbing. I already had many cases of stalking, and so all of you write with good intentions, please understand that this is an invasion of my privacy. I did not agree to this communication. I'm really grateful to this person who seems to be a foreigner who lives here in Tbilisi and wanted to meet me and give a gift, that they just deleted the messages and never contacted me again, that they understood me. Sometimes under my YouTube videos you can find scammers who use my profile photo and my name and invite you to chat on Telegram or WhatsApp, which I never do. And it shows that some of my viewers think that I will chat with them, that I have time for this, but it's not true. And I don't know you. I don't know thousands of people who are subscribed to my channel. And here I want to define what it is. So parasocial relationships refer to one-sided relationships in which a person develops a strong sense of connection, intimacy, or familiarity with someone they don't know, often celebrities or media personalities. These relationships exist only in the mind of the individual who experiences a bond despite the lack of reciprocity. I receive lots of messages and comments almost every day. This is how my Instagram DM looks. I'm not trying to brag that I'm a celebrity, I'm just showing that it is common. You see, a lot of these messages are unread. There are also requests and hidden requests. Here, I have a message, hey, I saw you in the city a few days ago, was too shy to say hi. It's good that you didn't, and again, it's not appropriate to write something like this. Of course, most of the comments I get are reasonable and people just thank me for my content, but sometimes there's something that already crosses the line, like marry me, send me erotic content. In this video you smile more, you look happier, you look healthier. So by just minutes of footage, people think that they can track my health situation or whether I'm happy or not. And in these good comments, people treat me like their daughter or friend. Often they idealize me, like, you're so honest, you're a decent human being. And yeah, maybe in this particular video I showed and said something that you liked, but in reality I'm just a normal human with my flaws. I edit my videos to look prettier because I can choose a good angle, and if I don't like how I look in a particular part of the video, or if I think that I said something stupid or have a grammar or pronunciation mistake there, I just delete this. But the thing is that I show just 5% of my life. I mostly talk about Russia, Russian culture, politics, and my travels. And most of my viewers are men, 90%. It is abnormal because usually female creators attract other female creators. I kind of blame myself for the fact that most of my audience are men. I wish there were more women who are interested in my channel, but I kind of already worked this out. I actually learned that some other creator who makes videos about Russia and traveling and who is a guy also has mostly male audience. The only explanation I came up with is probably that it's mostly men who are interested in Russia due to many reasons. Russian politics, the trope of a traditional Russian wife, which is also a very disturbing topic. Another reason why I felt guilt is because I get money from my subscribers, from you. So one part of my income is monetization when YouTube shows you ads, and the second part is donation that I get from you on Patreon or here in YouTube Thanks. I was blaming myself for asking for this money and that I have to tolerate such comments and sometimes strange messages. But I also understood that I'm not responsible for other people's feelings. My job here is to deliver content and people pay for it or not. I learned to consider these donations as a tip, and if there is something else that a person puts into this money transaction, I don't know about this and I don't need to receive such a donation that implies that I owe something to this person. My mission of this channel is cultural exchange. And yes, I do share my personal situation here. I am a Russian from the Far East. I am a dissident and now live in immigration. I tell you something about my life to showcase how some young dissident Russians think and feel. And I get many comments where people thank me for building this bridge between different cultures. But can parasocial relationships be normal? Because of course we have our favorite celebrities, actors, singers. I also sometimes catch myself in this kind of connection when I watch, for example, Ekaterina Shulman. She's a Russian political scientist, professor, and a YouTuber. She explains difficult, scary things about the Russian politics, but in a way that helps me to cope with it. And she gives a lot of hope and support to us, to her viewers. But I would never approach her in the street if I see her. I know that I appreciate only the part of her job where she talks about politics. I don't know about her personal life and I don't need to. A healthy parasocial relationship is caused by loneliness, isolation, not having a group to belong to. We are programmed to bond with people and we can empathize with them. It's okay because it just shows that our ability to relate to others is intact. But it becomes unhealthy when this parasocial relationships interferes with your life, when you're obsessed with this person and idealize them. It can be normal and healthy if we don't act in real life and don't do something that violates these personality boundaries. Now I want to share some disturbing situations that happened to me. The first one was when I was 16. I liked to exchange postcards with my internet friends, and that's how one person asked me for my address and he sent me a postcard. But after that he started writing something really strange, and since he knew my address, he even sent a parcel with his clothes. And the reason was that I should wear this clothes when I moved to his city. I asked him to leave me alone, I blocked him, but he would create multiple fake profiles, and this all happens even before this YouTube channel. It can happen to anyone who has a profile in the internet. I was scared by the fact that he knew my house address, and in his post he shared that wants to meet me there. So he never went to my hometown, but guess what? 2 years later he visited me in my dormitory in front of my door on the 7th floor. I was terrified that moment. I shut the door immediately and I wanted to call the police, but also I knew that, Russian police. And he started screaming, and after that he returned back to the first floor. I finally called the police and also came downstairs. And the thing is that in our dorm, a student can invite a guest for several hours if they both leave their passports by the security. That's what he did. He talked one student into helping him. He said that she is my girlfriend and I want to make a surprise to her, something like this. So they both left their passports, and this man arrived to Khabarovsk from the central Russia, spending 7 days on the train, and he learned the dorm address from the internet, but I have no idea how he learned my room number. Probably the security person helped him. Again, believing in the story about the surprise. And when I came downstairs, I said to the security person, I call the police, please don't let him go. And there was kind of a bar in the lobby of our our dorm, and this man stayed there sitting in the lobby because he could not leave without his passport. After 2 hours, the police arrived, and he said to the policeman, I came here to take her with me to my city because she's my wife or something. After that, they finally took him into the police. He spent the night in the police department, but he said to the policeman that he has a back ticket to his hometown for tomorrow, so they just released him the next day. And what if he returned again to my dorm? But he really returned to his hometown and continued writing strange posts about me. And this situation scarred me so much, it traumatized me for up to this day. I was so outraged how that student believed him, and I cannot get any support except of calling the police, who will anyway release him the next day. I wish in Russia we had protective laws like restraining order, or if in our criminal code there were definitions of harassment, stalking, domestic violence, and so on. But, I mean, this is what we have. We have our traditional values instead. Another story happened 3 years after that, when I already had this YouTube channel. Once I got an anonymous message from some account who said, go out to the yard of your house, there is a surprise for you. And this scared me again. I was like, what surprise? Who are you? And this person sent a photo of a cardboard parrot located near the apartment block where I lived. I didn't know what it means, but 1 month after that, a guy who was from my city messaged me and explained that my subscriber from America asked him to set up this surprise for me. Then that American guy messaged me, and I said that, it's not okay, like I don't like such kind of attention, and I forgot about this. But a couple of months after that, I got a message from a local magazine who wanted to write an article about my YouTube channel, and I met with them, answered their questions about my channel, but then they asked, do you know that American person, insert the name? And I said, yes, he is my subscriber, he wanted to make a surprise for me or something. And that's how I figured that it was that American guy who asked the magazine to make an article about me. But it's not the end, because 1 month later, when I flew to Moscow from Khabarovsk, finally the magazine with the article was printed out, and the journalist who interviewed me, a woman by the way, messaged me that she wants to give me this magazine personally through one of her colleagues. And that colleague happened to be that very Russian guy who helped the American guy. And since back then I already laughed off that situation and forgot about it, I thought that, okay, I will just meet with this Russian guy. So we arranged a meeting in a cafe in a mall. But instead, that American guy appeared with flowers and the magazine. I was just shocked. I immediately escaped, asking the barista to ask the security so that this man doesn't follow me. The cherry on top is that when I opened the magazine, on the page before the interview, there was a love letter from this American guy. So I messaged this Russian guy, why instead of you arrived this person? And instead of apologizing, he started blaming me for not appreciating the fact that this American took time and efforts to make a visa to Russia to meet you, and you're so ungrateful. And as for the journalist, the woman who also was involved in it, what she replied was like, really? Oh my god, such a romantic story. There will be something to tell to your children. And I asked her, don't you understand as a woman that it is inappropriate, that it is scary, it's not okay? This is just outrageous how people can help a stalker. And basically he justified his actions by the fact that I did not reply to him. That's why he wanted to talk personally. It got dark because I've been filming this for an hour already. Yeah, these situations traumatized me, and lately I've been so anxious because of this, to the point I even wanted to quit making videos. I talked to my therapist about this, and she said that to not feel anxious all the time. I have to determine what is a possibly dangerous situation for me and what I do at what particular stage. For example, the first stage is when a person writes something questionable to me and I answer that please don't message me, I don't want to communicate. If after that the person continues writing, then what do I do next? When do I call the police? When do I have to implement other safety precautions? And I calmed down. I understood that not every strange message and comment is dangerous for me. Also, my therapist reminded me that a very important tool I have is my publicity, this YouTube channel, and I can protect myself by telling this story. And all these situations taught me to be more determined and strict when it comes to setting my boundaries, saying no, and to even do everything that is possible to protect myself. So if needed, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to run away really fast and ask for help, ask the police, to call the police. And by the way, here in Georgia, I already have had some communications with police, even though not because of stalking, but because of some other situations. And I found out that the Georgian policemen are really friendly and helpful. They speak English and Russian sometimes. This also calms me down, even though I heard some other cases when the police did not help women in such situations, of course. But at least here in Georgia and other European countries, there are things such as restraining order, and there are actually laws that care about stalking and harassment victims. It's still not perfect, but at least there's something in comparison with Russia. Now I will be even more cautious than before, but at the same time, I will not let this influence my mood in a bad way. So I made this video to protect myself, and also I want it to be helpful and useful, because first of all I want to refer to the victims of stalking and cyber stalking, harassment and so on. I support you, I'm with you. Don't be afraid to say no and ask for help. We, especially women, have to support each other, and if we see something dangerous happening to other women, we have to warn her. Also, I want to say something to a broader audience, men especially, because you guys don't understand the weight and the value of your words when it comes to supporting a vulnerable person who experienced some kind of harassment, stalking and so on. Ask your female partners, friends, sisters or mothers whether they experience something like this, and I'm sure they would tell you a lot. And if someone asks you to share personal information about some other person in order to make a surprise for them, be careful and warn that person that someone wants to know their address, their phone number, and don't help them, like it was in both cases that happened to me. And finally, if you found yourself in parasocial relationships with me or with some other person, it's not a bad thing, because again, it shows that we all are humans. We tend to relate to other humans. It means that we have empathy. But please also consider that they are people who you don't know and they don't know about you. Understand that everything you know about them is a created image, and even if they firstly replied to your message, it doesn't mean that they will want to continue communication with you and that they want to meet you. And anyway, why would you waste your time on some person who doesn't really know you and doesn't want to meet you? It's better to think about yourself. If you need, you can ask for help from a professional, therapy. It's not shameful. It is an important step that you take to reflect on your problems and to confront them. I'm glad that I finally made this important video and shared things I've been preoccupied with for years, basically. Write in the comments what you think about parasocial relationships and in what way they can be healthy and unhealthy. Maybe you want to share your story or story of someone you know. Let's be supportive and respect others' boundaries. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Пока-пока.